Room 24 is devoted to Bernardino di Betto, an artist who was born in Perugia, and he is known by the nickname Pinturicchio. The works on display include a small gonfalon on silk, depicting Saint Augustine and the artist's only monumental work painted at Perugia, the Fossi altarpiece, named after the Augustinian church of Santa Maria dei Fossi, for which the work was done. The contract of commission for the work, drawn up on the 14th of February 1495 between Pinturicchio and the Augustinian canons regular, has been preserved and provides a series of fascinating details. The money used to fund the altarpiece came from a bequest left by Melchiorre di Goro, Chamberlain of the Shoemakers' Guild. The commission also comprised the expenses for the rent of a workshop, since at the time Pinturicchio did not have a workplace in his native city. The iconography of the work is described down to the tiniest detail, even though the completed painting differed slightly from what had been established. The large altarpiece is shaped like a triumphal arch with triple arches, and the wooden framing was made by Mattia di Tommaso d'Areggio, perhaps to the design of Pinturicchio and definitely inspired by Roman triumphal arches. The decorative motifs on a black background, taken from the fresco of the Domus Aurea, also have a classical origin. The iconographic program focused on the mystery of the Incarnation and the sacrifice of the Son of God for the forgiveness of sin. Starting from the upper part of the altarpiece, we can see the dove of the Holy Spirit, beneath which is the Pietà, with Christ supported by two angels who shed crystalline tears. The central panel depicts the Virgin and Child enthroned, in which the infant Jesus receives the pomegranate, the symbol of the Passion, from his mother, and the cross from Saint John the Baptist. The upper part of the side panels depicts the Angel of the Annunciation and the Virgin Annunciate, who refer to the mystery of Incarnation. Below, on the left, is Saint Augustine, while on the right is a Saint Jerome, two doctors of the Church and custodians of theological knowledge. The step on which the altarpiece rests depicts a story of Saint Augustine on the left and a story of Saint Jerome on the right, interspersed by four tondos with the figures of the evangelist, and a small central panel with a long inscription made in 1863 to replace the original panel which had been lost. The small panel on the left depicts a legendary episode. Saint Augustine, while walking along the beach and meditating on the Trinity, encounters a child who tries to scoop the sea into a small hole with a spoon. He points out the absurdity of what the boy is doing, and the child replies that, in the same way, it is impossible for the human mind to comprehend the immensity of the mystery of the Trinity. The panel on the right shows the typical depiction of Saint Jerome the Hermit praying before the crucifix, holding a stone with which he beats his chest. Beside him is a lion, his faithful companion, ever since the saint had healed the animal by extracting a thorn in his paw. The Altarpiece of Santa Maria dei Fossi displays exquisite technique. The choice of bright, solid colors gives way to the most delicate hues used to portray the flesh. The depiction of the details, which are sometimes invisible to the human eye, is quite extraordinary, and they are shown in a magnified form on the screen next to the work. Amongst the many details, observe the book held by the Virgin Annunciate, which, on the left-hand page, displays a miniature of the Annunciation, or the fabrics and jewellery depicted with outstanding illusionist precision. It is also worth noting the series of saints embroidered on the stole of St. Augustine, or the small landscape behind the throne featuring tiny figures engaged in everyday activities. The astonishing attention to detail serves as a reminder that Pinturicchio began his career in the workshop of Bartolomeo and Japeco Caporali, who were extremely active both in painting and in miniature. It has been suggested that Pinturicchio's capacity to see and reproduce minute details may have stemmed from his exceptional sight, which could have compensated for a hearing defect mentioned in the sources. We know that Bernardino di Betto was also known as Sordicchio, the little deaf one, a nickname that referred simultaneously to his minute physique and putative deafness.